kind of fight comes from? Is it your family? Is it how you're brought up?
For sure not from my dad, that's a guarantee. It's more from like my mom. My mom, she's a tough woman. We are currently in Danish, our lovely team camp hotel. It sounds weird to say, but it's not so focused on training as it was in the past, where that was the main goal of the camps. Now the main goal is it's a bit different than it was before. So that means we as riders also have to be a bit more open-minded and ready to, to do a different approach to these camps. Of course, we can still train. That's the basics we have to do. But we also have all these, testing, and it's more specific focused on specific parts of cycling, and not only 6 hours of training. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You remember when you used to sit on Mallorca was a small camp with not enough people? It's directly on the right, no?
Yeah, you go out right, and then
when the road turns left, we keep going straight.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I know the race course. I know the cobbles. But we have new guys on the team, and we have guys who didn't race them every year. It's always nice to get a small reminder and refreshed a view on the cobblestones. But for the new guys that take Söderqvist, for example, he's never been there. Albert, he's never been there. So it's good to get them going, try the couples, understand the approach, talking with us, speaking with us who have done these races many times, so they can learn a little bit before we go to like the proper classics, because to do the recon of Flanders 3 days before and then throwing into Flanders, been there, done that, it's pretty tough. So that's also part of it. And then of course the equipment testing. We always, every year we try something new, we find new equipment to try, and we have to test it. And if we find some equipment that's good, where we have to do minor adjustments, now is still the time where we can do the adjustments. If you do that in 1 month or in 6 weeks, it's too late.
First, we just want to start having you explain where you are in your camp, training camp, and what this period means in terms of your overall preparation for the season.
And I have to ask the question myself. No. In my answer.
Just be like, we're at training camp, and we're this many weeks out from my first race, and
yeah, but this I don't know. What is my first race? You know that?
Provence?
No.
Oh, Valencia.
Valencia. When is Valencia? It's 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
There on the road is his race. Spoke to us, and that's what's being called by.
Yeah, until the first racing, it was going really well. The camps was going super nice, and training went well. No sickness. It was peaceful at home, no stress. Everything went super smooth, and we were on such a good path. And we believe that this year we found the last bit to be able to win a monument. And then within seconds you find yourself on the floor and knowing that bones are broken, and then from there on it's a few days of waiting game to know exactly what the plan would be for the near future after that. But onto the crash, everyone went super good, and we had a really good plan.
I mean, I was not in Valencia, but when he showed me images of himself afterwards, I understand how hard this crash was. It's a bit difficult to understand it until you saw him with total damaged body. And then of course I'm also doubting a little bit, and especially when he also is a little bit in doubt, is this even possible?
Yeah, because I remember I was laying on my stomach, and then I tried to push myself up to sit up or something, and I just remember I put my hands on the ground and I was like, okay, the wrist is definitely broken, and the collarbone, that's not the first time. So there I felt, okay, something is wrong there as well. So I knew something was wrong. And then straight away they came, because I was laying, you know, face down on the stomach and still trying to catch my breath, because when you crash with 60, 70 k's an hour, of course you lose all the air in the body when you hit the ground. And yeah, they thought my back was broken as well. So then I ended up with this whatever neck thing and on a plastic board, and then you're laying there in the ambulance and just facing up, you know, and Mickey was in the ambulance with me, and seeing his eyes also, you know, he didn't cry, but it was emotional for him as well. And I told him, Mickey, if my back is broken, you will never see me ride my bike again. Then I'm done. I'm finished. You can keep my clothing. That's it.
I like to do a plan also of recovery, that because a timeline is quite important. If you don't have it, you're in the nowhere land. You don't know what's going on, where I'm now, and how long does it take that I'm back on the bike and maybe back ready for race. And then to have a timeline, it's something really important.
Mads' mindset is like, yeah, I think he doubted maybe a little while, a few days after the operation, you know, when you're sitting home and you understand what happened. But it didn't take long, and then he just switched his mindset, and then it was okay, and now we fucking go, and now we don't doubt anymore.
So the crash was Wednesday. Friday I had operation. Saturday evening I was talking with Matthias, my coach, and I told him, okay, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna make it back? And he was like, okay, easy. First, let's try to go on the bike. We do some other exercises. And
I'm a bit surprised how hard he could suffer, even though he is like having a body that has to heal. Because normally after a crash, it takes some time to recover and so on. But as soon as we started training, then it actually went pretty well. And now he has been like 2 weeks. He was doing more or less 5-6 hours on the rollers every day. Okay, there was also a rest here and there, but more or less 6 days a week, 6 hours per day.
I think everyone said no, you cannot race. You're not allowed to race. It's, you know, it's too early. And then I think it was, or was it Wednesday? I had a really hard training. Matthias, my coach, was there, and then I told him, Matthias, with these numbers, it would be insane not to take the start on Saturday. I know I haven't really been racing for 5 or 6 months now. But with the shape I have and what I did in training the last week, I believe that I can do top 5. So for sure the best result I have done here, if not podium. It is of course a risk to believe in me, because again, I haven't really showed it in the races this year, but I truly believe I can make a top result tomorrow. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
He has not raced for 6 months, so we all train to race. So as soon as he can get on, and I think if it's going well, it's good. If it's going a little bit less well, it's still good, because he get a little bit race situation before he go to Belgium. So it can only be a benefit.
Earlier than expected, so good day. Maybe I couldn't take the podium, but
thanks to your teammates to Chico.
Kind of fight comes from? Is it your family? Is it how you're brought up?
For sure not from my dad, that's a guarantee. It's more from like my mom. My mom, she's a tough woman, and so I think it comes from her genes, you know. It's nothing we are really raised with. It's just, yeah, let's say luckily I got most of that in between me and my brothers, and yeah, I just took it with me, and I just hate when people feel too sorry for themselves. It's just horrible. If you can change it yourself, and if you actually can do an effort to make it better for yourself, then do it. And sometimes life is a pain in the ass, and it's not your fault or whatever, but if you can change it, you at least try yourself, and then at one point maybe it's not worth it, and then you stop and you find another path.
And you mentioned the classics, obviously that's where we are, we're in Belgium. What is it about these races that really gets you? Like, why do the classics really mean something to you and drive you?
Yeah, actually that's a good question, because it's, you know, you have to be a bit mental to do these races and to like them. Something is just so special, and the atmosphere and the Belgiums and how it's almost a national holiday every time you're racing, and the cobbles are special, and it's only, in the end, it's five race days a year where it's like this tension, and even if we break it even more down, it comes down to get Berigem and Flanders, and like for the really big ones in Belgium, and it's just so special, and especially when you're the kind of rider I am also, where then of course you have to find the love in what you're good at. You know, I would also love to win the Tour, but it would be a big hate relationship to that race, because it ain't gonna happen. So of course you have to find the joy in what your body shows you and tells you what you're good at, and luckily my head went in that direction also, to say, okay, it's actually pretty nice to race here.
Okay, take your time.
I know when I'm at the start line of Roubaix, I have done everything. I couldn't do one minor detail more, and everything we have done, we believe that was the best to do. Then afterwards we can look back and say, okay, maybe we have to change this and this and this and these small details. But in that given moment, when we pin the numbers and we go on the start line of Roubaix, we believe what we have done to be there, that's the best thing we could have done. I think we can also allow ourselves to dream of winning Paris-Roubaix. But from the moment the gun goes off in Roubaix to the finish line, something you can't control. It would always be details in that race you can't control. And that can give you the victory, or it can make you, take it away from you. It would be nice to have 1 year with a bit of luck in that race, with not a puncture or something, of course. And hopefully that's in 2026. If you tell me now I have to stop tomorrow, I never believed I would have a career like this. You know, I can be proud of what I achieved. But it doesn't mean I am sitting back and say, okay, that's fine. Now I'm just doing this because, it's fun and so on. I still want to win that race, and it will keep chasing me. But it's not because it will hunt me after my career if I don't. Then it is what it is. But people shouldn't take it like I don't believe I can win it, because I truly believe I can win that race, and I want to win that. And I can't say more than anyone else, because I know Today wants to win it, Mathieu wants to win it again, Wout wants to win it, 25 riders starting Paris-Roubaix, they want to win this fucking race. But I'm just lucky and happy that I'm in a position where I can actually say I have a fair chance of winning that race. Luck or not, it will come.